let's talk about Trent Grisham. I, for one, am very, very excited that he's going to be back because we talked about this. I don't know if it was on air, but we talked about, like, all right, who's going to be that guy that's going to provide the energy now that Tatis is hurt? And you kind of start thinking about, you go, all right, who is that guy? Hosmer's not really, he's more of a reserve guy. He's not going to be out there getting all pumped up. Same thing with Machado, very like mellow and not really like a ton of energy with him. And if you look back on last year, who's the guy that's running around the bases with the three? It's Trent Grisham. And he was awesome last year. I think he was my favorite player to watch last year, besides, the big names. But he was traded, and a lot of people did not like the trade when they acquired him. Eric Lauer, and I can't think of who's the little second baseman from Mexico.
Luis Urias.
Yes, and everyone was so high on Urias. So we get this guy, Trent Grisham. He has the costly error in the playoffs, and he was spectacular last year. So I think bringing him back is going to just provide a lot of energy, especially if he gets a couple big hits in this Rangers series. I think that could be something that's really awesome. So are you guys as pumped as I am? Because I am really excited to see him back in the lineup.
Absolutely. You brought up he was one of your favorite players to watch last year. He was one of mine too. I love how he holds up the 3, the 4, whatever it is when he's it's the home run count. It's so sick seeing jogging the bases doing that, and he does that because I think there's someone on the Padres who I think he's deaf. He only does sign language, so he does that for him. I think that's super sick. But I think the main thing is that having Trent Grisham out there in center field against the Giants was probably the difference between a win and a loss. I mean, let's be real, right? Because he's a Gold Glove center fielder. He's probably, I think he's one of the best center fielders in baseball. I think he has that superstar potential. And when we first did that trade, the only thing I knew about Trent Grisham was that error he made, which I think that might have been the only thing everyone knew him for. But now looking at that trade, it's like, wow, we robbed them. Like, that was probably the best trade that could have been made. I know Zach Davies isn't with us anymore, but Trent Grisham, superstar potential, Gold Glove center fielder who's going to hit a ton of bombs and probably be a 260 hitter, which is fine as long as he's getting on base.
One thing I'll add to that real fast is we don't have Zach Davies anymore, but what did he turn into? He turned into Yu Darvish and Caratini, who have just been great so far. I mean, Darvish didn't have the best opening day start, but we know we're going to get out of Darvish, and Caratini has been awesome as well. So I just wanted to add that real quick because there's the other aspect of that trade is we turned Davies into something that, I mean, that is a massive haul. And I agree with you. I know you said superstar potential. I feel like some people might hear that and go, really, like superstar? No, I'm all in on Trent Grisham. And I think that he's just going to continue to get better. But Chase, are you hyped too?
Yeah, man, we really need an electric player back. And when Grisham is on, man, that team is electric. You get him hitting home runs or him on base. He's running the bases like crazy. He plays Gold Glove defense, makes all these diving plays, these amazing catches. This is what the Padres need. Sure, Nando went down, but I think Grisham can fill that spark role perfectly. As long as he gets on and comes back, he's fully healthy, and he starts right away just hitting, this team will get its spark back, and I'm pretty sure the bats will come around right after that.
And I'd also like to mention, like, he is coming off injury, but they did not rush him at all. Like, he probably could have been back a couple weeks ago. It was a hamstring, right?
Slight
like
hamstring.
a pulled hamstring. Yeah, so it's not like he had some serious injury. He's been hitting in the cages. He's been out there fielding. He shouldn't come back and be like super raw and not ready to go. He should be ready to go from the start. And if he has a lot of success, he can bring a ton of momentum. So I think that's going to be the biggest thing about him. I also like that you brought up like his fielding in center field. He's a good fielder. He won the Gold Glove. I honestly forgot that for a second. I did know that, but I kind of forgot that he won it last year. Like, that was really impressive, especially coming off a year where he, like you said, going into this year, he was known for that error. And I don't think that people really remember him for that anymore, especially if you've been keeping up with the Padres, because he's just been such a sweet player. Running the bases with pulling up a 3 after you've hit 3 home runs in a game that's one of the hardest things I've seen in a while. That and the Fernando Tatis bat flip, of course. But this dude brings a lot of swagger. So I think that we're going to see a lot of fun stuff from Trent Grisham this year. And just wondering from you guys, like, I guess just kind of like projections on what we're going to see from Trent this year. I think for me, I think we're going to see a guy that hits around 240 to 260. Not a crazy average, but he's going to get on base 330, 340 clip, maybe even a 350 clip. I think people forget how much he walks. He walks so much. And I think that he could hit 25 bombs this year. I think he could hit 30 bombs if he hits higher up in the lineup. Last year we saw him hit ninth a lot. I think that he's going to be – I don't think that when we play against lefties, he's going to be as far down in the lineup. I think that we'll see him 6 and 7 more often than like a 9 or an 8, just because like I think he's starting to prove like, hey, I can be an everyday guy. I can hit against lefties. It might not be my strength, but I can do it. And so I think we're going to see him hopefully lead off against righties and then hit 6th or 7th against lefties. So I don't know. What do you guys think his stat line is going to look like this year?
Yeah, I think 260 is a reasonable average for Trent Grisham. We know that he can be a tad bit inconsistent. He did strike out kind of a lot last year when he wasn't on, but when he was on, we saw a game where he hit 3 home runs at once. We saw a ton of bombs from him. He's a great base runner. I do think he has a good possibility to win another Gold Glove, but I think 260 with around 30 home runs is my prediction for Trent Grisham.
So I'm going to say he hits around like the high 260s, low 270s this year. And I think he's going to join the 25-25 club with the potential to hit 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. So having him and Myers kind of being like the same capability of like, hey, we're going to hit at this average, Myers being a little bit better of a bat, but offer you, around 30 home runs and 30 stolen bases. That's what every lineup needs. And the Padres have 2 of those players, if not 3, when Tatis is back and healthy.
Yeah, no, I love it. I love that we're all super high on Trent because I think he's a guy that doesn't get enough like excitement around his name. And I think he really should. I think he deserves it. I think last year he took a ton of big steps forward. And I mean, we've seen like the new mold of a lot of MLB players is you don't necessarily need to go out there and hit 320 to be a star. You can hit 260 and still be a super important player. As long as you get on base, which he does, it's okay if you strike out a lot. It's okay if you're not hitting 300, but you can impact the game so much in so many more ways, stealing bases, hitting home runs. And I love that he kind of brings a lot of stuff. Like the only thing that he doesn't really bring is that he's going to be like a high volume hitter. He's going to get a lot of singles and stuff, but he's going to bring the pop, he's going to bring the speed, he's going to bring the fielding, and he's going to get on base. So I think he's a guy that he definitely has like earned a right for a lot of people to believe that he's the center fielder of the future. And even if someone else comes along and they decide that he's not best used in center field, he's going to be an everyday player for the Padres for years to come, I think. And if not, if he ends up getting moved or something down the line, he's going to be a really good baseball player anywhere. So I'm super pumped about him, and I think that this is really important that he's going to be back and hopefully balling out. But with that said, I think that's all for today's episode. I want to say thanks for everyone who's listening, and this is your first time, make sure to subscribe, like the video, comment what you think about Trent because I'm all in on him and I'm really excited for it. So thanks everyone for watching, and we'll talk to you guys soon.